and the FA. We can do that in the second half. We are going to do a World Cup poll. You are going to decide tonight who's going to win the World Cup. We have 8 contenders, the top 8 teams ranked in the FIFA rankings who are going to the World Cup. Italy, ciao, bye. You're not in it. Did you finish Stranger Things, says Radical Group. We may do that in the future. This is a half-time thing where we do it with 8 teams. So we've got the top 8 teams ranked in the world rankings, minus Italy, so Mexico come in. We're going to do against each other. You vote, they go through to the next round. It's as simple as that. So our first quarter-final, and I suspect this will be quite an easy one. Actually, we'll start with a good one. World Cup predictor, we'll call it. And it's Argentina. This would be a big game if it actually happens in the quarterfinals. It's Argentina against England. Get your votes in. Who wins, England or Argentina? We're going to try and predict who's going to win the World Cup, and it'll be very interesting at Christmas to see if you got it right. Obviously, we might get an outsider. Denmark aren't in this. They might do it. The Netherlands might do it. They're not in it. I don't think Germany are in it, actually. But our first poll is England against Argentina. Would you consider Havertz being a class player? I like Havertz. John Burton says England are going to win the World Cup. They're not going to win this poll, mate. They're not going to win this poll. They're 69% down to Argentina at the moment. And it's not looking good for England. Argentina are poor at the moment, says Jaws. And we're not going to bring it home, says Asha. Fire says Euro 2016 was a magnificent feat for Portugal. We won a Euros with solely draws until the semi-finals. That's the sort of thing that Southgate needs to harness. Shit, boring football. England bottled it in England, and you think they can win it in a different country. Right, I'm going to close this poll down in 10 seconds. England are going out quicker than I thought. 68% are going for Argentina. 32% are going for England. This is our first quarter-final of our World Cup predictor. Who would win between Argentina and England? I'm going to count it down from 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It stays on 68% for Argentina. There's not even a sign of a comeback for England. They're out. Argentina have knocked England out straight away. Can't say I disagree with that. I don't try and influence the vote, but our next one is going to be Belgium against Portugal. Ronaldo against De Bruyne. That's not the poll. It's Portugal against Belgium. Belgium, the perennial overhyped team that never seem to do and get anywhere near winning it. Portugal, who actually get written off but always seem to grind their way to it. Who would you go? Who would win in that game? Belgium or Portugal, in your opinion? History would say Portugal would find a way to do it, but Belgium, the golden generation of Belgium's probably gone now, isn't it? Hazard fell off. Kompany's retired. Lukaku, not the player he was. De Bruyne, still fantastic, but what have they got beyond that? Are Portugal even a decent team? Are Belgium even a decent team anymore? I don't think they are. I mean, who Belgium got? Belgium aren't the team they were, though, are they? Belgium knocked them out in the Euros. They did. I think Portugal have got the better players, haven't they? But I don't know. Anyway, Portugal are well out in front here with 72%, and Yuri Tillemans. I think to be fair, I'll give some credit to the chat. When people think of Belgium, they start going, "Oh, they're the dark horses of the tournament," but that was 10 years ago. They're not really the dark horses anymore. They're not. Isn't Martinez their manager as well? Bloody Roberto Martinez. He's another pretender. Oh God. I won an FA Cup with Wigan and got relegated. Oh, Martinez. Yeah, he was a hipster manager that everyone was like, "Oh, he's right." I saw through it. I was like, I don't think he's that great. Right, Right, we're going to close this one down in 10 seconds. Belgium have got 72%. If it stays on that, we'll knock them through. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sit down, Courtois. You're out. As voted for by the That's Football public, not me. You'd be very busy, I think, if you want to win the World Cup. But, I mean, yeah, they've got a very good goalkeeper. They've got Kevin De Bruyne, but I don't really see... it's an interesting point, actually. You're out. That's the interesting point. You're out. Belgium are out and England are out. Portugal and Argentina are through. And our next quarter final is another good one. Oh, this is a good one. Well, I don't think it is, actually. I think I know which way this will go. Maybe I'm wrong. France against Spain. Get your votes in. That's our next quarter final. And just while we're doing that, I'm just going to read you out the Belgian national side that played at the weekend and lost 4-1 to the Netherlands. Their lineup was as follows: Mingele in goal, Alderweireld, obviously Courtois would be in goal. Alderweireld and Vertonghen are still playing. That's like playing your gran and your grandma. Boyata, I mean, he's been around for years as well. Meunier, he's still there. Witzel's still there. Castagne's all right. Lukaku, De Bruyne, and Eden Hazard still plays for them. Yeah, they're the OAP. They're a saga holiday. They are. Trossard's a good player, but he's on the bench. Batshuayi's still there. Carrasco's still there. Yeah, they're yesterday's news, to be honest. Belgium are yesterday's news. They've not even got a squad like we've got. France are smashing Spain here. I mean, Spain could be a dark horse for this. I can't believe this game's on Channel 4. I don't even know who the presenters are. Right, we'll close the poll. France have won. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Annihilation, really, for them. Gracias, por favor. You're out. France were terrible in the Euros and still haven't recovered, says Danny. They've just got so many good players, France, haven't they? I think that's why people go for them. But yeah, they do also have that ability to be brilliant and then not be brilliant. Right, our final quarter-final is going to be this. I don't see this one really causing people any issues. It's going to be Brazil against Germany. Maybe it will. Maybe it won't. Brazil, Germany, quarterfinal, the final quarterfinal. Who would you go with to win that game? Brazil against Germany. What's your prediction for England's World Cup group? I would say England, Wales, USA and Iran, says Reece Powell. I think England will find a way through that, to be honest. Yeah, I do. Please do subscribe, by the way. Bottom right. We'll see. Brazil are comfortably winning this one at the moment. 70% of the vote are going with Brazil. You know what? Probably would have voted Brazil, but I think Germany will give them a game. I don't think Brazil are Ronaldo, Rivaldo and Ronaldinho Brazil. I think Brazil are Neymar and Jesus and Vinicius Jr. I don't think that they're unbeatable in any sense of the word. I think you might be surprised. I think Germany, this is always the thing that we never see. When South American clubs play the European clubs, sometimes we overrate the South American clubs. 20 years since a South American club won the World Cup. I'm not convinced that Brazil are going to be that much better than Germany, to be honest with you. But you are, and I'm going to count it down from 10%, from 10. If it stays at 69%, then we'll move on. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're out. You're out, Germany. Brazil have knocked you out. You are gone. So, our 4 semi-finalists are Brazil, France, Belgium and Argentina. We're doing a World Cup poll from quarter-final to final to predict who's going to win the World Cup. And we'll write this down and we'll revisit it in the final. Right. Okay, so our first semi-final is going to be Argentina versus Portugal. And they do have links. I don't know what those links are. Travel, language, Argentina and Portugal are close, and Spain and Brazil are close. I think that's right. Right, let's go. Portugal against Argentina in this semi-final. Who would win to take their place in the final? Messi and Ronaldo. Yes, yes. It's a different angle to it. Sorry, it's Portugal and Brazil who have the connections, and it's Spain and Argentina. It's the other way around. I'm not Portuguese, I'm not Spanish, I'm not Argentinian, I'm not Brazilian. But yeah. This is a close poll here. This is a great poll. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. We've had 5,000 votes and it's 50-50. These are the polls we live for. These are the ones we love. Argentina have taken a lead. They've gone to 51% against Portugal. Get your votes in. Who would win between Argentina and Portugal to take their place in the final? It was 50-50. It's now gone to Argentina. Croatia, no. Better than half those teams. Says Karen took the kids. Are Croatia not a team that's sort of had their best days now, though? A lot of their team are... let's have a look at the Croatian national football team. They got... Wow, what are you on about, Croatia? They got beat by Austria. They got beat by Austria the other day. 3-0 at home. So I don't think that they are a team that are going to do it. It's back to 50-50. Oh, what a poll we've got going on here. It's Argentina against Portugal in this World Cup semi-final predictor. We'll keep it going whilst the game kicks off here because it's probably more entertaining. People are saying realistically it's Argentina. I think, again, are you not overhyping the fact that it's a South American team? What happens when they come up against the European team? Argentina have got some very good players, but so have Portugal. João Felix, Ronaldo. There are others. Ruben Diaz, Cancelo, Bernardo Silva. That's a good point. The Portuguese manager is crap. I know he won the Euros, but he is very negative. I don't think he gets the best out of what he's got. Renato Sanchez is a good player as well. I do like him. I've got a super chat here from Brennan. He says, might be a bit biased as an American, but I think the USA finished second in the World Cup group. I also think Iran may give teams a tougher game than people think. Yeah, I don't think... Portugal had a playoff to qualify. Portugal are notoriously inconsistent, especially in the qualifiers. Squid Play says, what the hell? It should easily be Argentina. I don't need to be the decider because when I close the poll, it won't just say 50-50. It will say 49 to 50%, which means that the team with 50% had 50 point something and the other one had 49 point something. So it won't be a dead heat. There will be a winner. But it would be nice if we got a winner in the sense that it went 51-49 on the screen. But I will be able to tell you the winner when I click, and if you keep an eye on the live chat, you will see it yourself as well. England just on the attack here. We had another super chat coming in from Mikael. He says, France got beaten 2-1 by Denmark. I would consider them a dark horse. Let's not forget how far they got in the Euros without one of their key players. Yeah, they're a good team. They're a good team. Can't wait for England to get knocked out and the media blame the Heat rather than Southgate, says Aidan Cox. Thank you very much, Aidan. When we hit 10,000 votes, I will probably just end this semi-final. This is the first semi-final as well. Argentina against Portugal. 50-50 after 9,400 votes. Weird. It's still 50-50. We've nearly had 10,000 votes. I'm going to close this poll in 10 seconds. So if you want to get a vote in, maybe you can change it visibly. Argentina or Portugal, who would win in our semi-final? Oh, no foul on deck there. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now I'm going to click end poll. If you keep an eye on the chat, it will flash the result up, and one of them will be 50% and one of them will be 49%, which means the one with 50 maybe had 50,400 and the one on 49 might have had 49,600. So let's see what happens when we end this poll. Keep an eye out in the chat. Here it is. Argentina won. There it is. World Cup predictor. Argentina 50%, Portugal 49%, which means the split was more with Argentina. So they go through and Portugal go home. World Cup predictor. Argentina 50%, Portugal 49%, which meant it was 50.3 and 49.7 or something like that. So Argentina go through. There we go. There we go. It was close, but no cigar. Right, our second semi-final could be another close one. Brazil against France. Come on here. Our second semi-final is up and running as well. France or Brazil. Who would win? We're doing a World Cup predictor. Who will play Argentina in the final? It's France against Brazil. It's 52% for France at the moment, so don't forget to put your vote in. France, it's come down to 51% for France. It's 51% against 49%. It was 52%. So we'll keep the vote open in our second semi-final of our World Cup predictor. It's Brazil against France. France are winning at the moment. Keep your votes coming in. Brazil or France in the semi-final. Get your votes in. Mark, who would you have as England's question? Oh, it's 50-50 between France and Brazil. I was going to count down then, but I don't need to now. Keep your votes coming in. France against Brazil. It's 50-50. I would say France is still winning because it's only just come down to 50-50. So Brazil may be at 49.2 and France might be 50.8. So it's still going to be in France's favour, but your votes can change that. Keep them coming in. What a couple of semi-finals we had. Portugal against Argentina went to extra time, and now France against Brazil has gone to extra time. Keep your votes coming in. Every inch matters, says Hoff. Okay. Right, I'm going to count down from 10 and then I'm going to end this poll. Brazil against France, another 50-50 that will be decided by the inner workings of the voting system. Get your votes in. We've had 12,000 votes in our second semi-final World Cup predictor. Who will play Argentina in the final? Will it be Brazil or will it be France? I nearly said Brents. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm going to end the poll. I suspect France will still have the edge here. They didn't! Oh my God! Oh my God! It's 49 point something for France and it's 50 point something for Brazil, which means that France bottled it because France were 52%, 51%, 50% and then actually went down to 49%. Brazil have knocked out France. That is stunning. No European team in your final of a World Cup predictor. There's shock and awe in the chats. Tyrone says it can't be. Sim says yes. This is Football says no. Chat's clueless, says Hader. Brazil's overrated, says Diego. Well, I cannot comment on the chat. We've got 16,700 people voting in the chat. You have voted from quarterfinals. You've knocked out all the European teams and the two South American teams have made it. We've got a Brazil-Argentina final in the World Cup. Look, it's a hot climate in Qatar. That may well happen. I'll tell you what, when we're doing the World Cup watch-along in December, if it's Brazil against Argentina, I'll be stunned. But maybe you're onto something. In relation to the media's attitude... Right. Okay, we've got a final. A World Cup final predictor. I'm shocked, but, you know, this is what you call democracy. So we've got Brazil against Argentina in a World Cup final. I tell you what, I'd love to see that as a final. To be honest, it's never going to be England, so I don't really give a shit about having a European team in the final. But yeah, Brazil against Argentina, your World Cup final. Who wins the World Cup in your World Cup predictor? Brazil against Argentina. Get your votes in. Democratic Bridge, says Dylan. Who would I predict to win the World Cup out of those 8? Well, it doesn't matter now because I wouldn't have predicted Brazil or Argentina. I probably would stick with France. And as an outsider, I wouldn't bet against a Portugal or a Germany, to be honest with you. Brazil are winning at the moment, 53%. And, well, Calfas says, regardless of the outcome of this poll, I've got a strong feeling about Argentina and Denmark. I hope we get a World Cup like that. We can all be cynical about international football, but the reality is when it kicks off, we'll all be watching it because there is no club football, and international tournament football it's like a bubble, isn't it? Pickford's out. My only concern about this World Cup is, will it have a World Cup feel? Qatar, is it going to feel quite sterile? Is it going to feel quite, not like a World Cup? I think one of the great things about Euros and World Cups is the whole atmosphere of the World Cup. If it's in Germany, if it's in the USA, if it's in South Africa, you feel the vibe of the nation. Can Qatar provide that? I don't know. Is this just a commercial World Cup? And that's the thing that concerns me, because it's not just the football, it's the atmosphere, it's the fans. How many fans will travel to the World Cup in Qatar? So that's my main concern. I'm going to do a movie watch. I think Brazil are going to win this, which means Brazil are going to be your predictor to win the World Cup. Don't forget. Good cross, back post. Thanks that, really. Of course, Brazil will win. Fred turns into Ronaldinho when he's with them, says Swift. So we're going to close this poll. It's our World Cup final predictor, which we had 8 teams, and you went with Brazil, Argentina. So Brazil, I've got 55% of the votes. Maguire's header. Manuel Neuer, easy to save because he's just let it hit his head, hasn't he? We're going to count down from 10. If it stays on 55%, then Brazil win. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And it is Brazil who win the World Cup. Brazil have won your World Cup predictor with 55% of the vote. Argentina in runners-up. So we'll see if that happens. You're predicting that Brazil are going to win the World Cup, which, to be honest with you, is exactly what the bookies have got. They've got Brazil as the favourites, France second favourites, and England third favourites. Well done, everybody. That was the most entertainment from the stream so far.